Hi Cancer, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings from Heart. So we're going to do your how does your ex feel about your reading. I decided to do these readings. I love doing these involved readings. They're on the website actually as well. If you want to, well, a lot of you come to the readings because they're free on YouTube, which is fair play. I love doing them for you guys, I really do. I love doing this channel. But I love doing the involved readings. They're just so interesting. Every time I do these types, I just get overly excited. So, you know, we did the how does he or she feel about you reading Cancerians, and that could have been a partner, somebody who is in your life, but I really wanted to hone in and focus on the ex. Now, you know, this person could still be in your life. They may not be. But this is primarily, it's completely for somebody that you would see as being an ex, okay? That's what it's about. And, on the how does he or she feel about me readings, we focused on 10 areas. This reading we focus on 12 areas, okay? So I'll tell you what the areas are. Position 1 is who the ex is in their life right now. Position 2 shows what the strengths of that ex are. Position 3 is what the ex's weakness is. Position 4 is how the ex feels about you. Position 5 is how you feel about the ex. Position 6 is what were the strengths in your relationship when you were in it. Position 7 is what were the weaknesses in the relationship. Position 8 is what's the likelihood of you and the ex coming back together. Position 9 is the overall analysis of who the ex is as a person. Position 10 is what are the main blocks to you and the ex being together. Position 11 is what would be the outcome if you and the ex were to come back together. And position 12 is if the ex came back asking to reconcile, what should you do? Okay, what we're using is, I'm using my new, I love these, I got these about a week, 10 days ago, Golden Universal Tarot. It's just beautiful. This is them here. And we've got the Tarot to Go. This is the small miniature Hanson Robert deck. So if any of you guys are on a budget, you want to start learning tarot, go to Amazon and get the Tarot to Go. It's a book and card set. The cards are this big. They're brilliant. Oh my God. And it's £5.99. I think in dollars it might be something like $10. It's really dirt cheap. And it's brilliant. Such a good deck of cards. I've got about 3 or 4 more of these decks. So, yeah. We're going to get started. And also to let you guys know, I'm going to be devising an online tarot course as well. So when I've devised it, I'll let you guys know. Anybody who wants to sign up, you can do. We'll see how that goes. It's probably going to be a few months in the making and devising and everything, because I've got to do the worksheets and this, that and the other. So yeah, I'll let you know when that's all done and dusted. So let's make a start. What we're going to do is we're going to shuffle the cards and we're going to ask who the ex is in their life right now. Universe, Spirit, show me who this ex is. Who is this ex in their life right now of Cancers? Show me. That's position 1. I'm just checking out. Sorry if the screen's a little bit dark. It's just that outside is a bit dark. Push that along a little bit more like that. That's it. What are this ex's strengths as a person? What is this ex's weaknesses as a person? What are the exes? How does the ex feel for Cancer? How does the ex feel for Cancer? Show me. And how does Cancer feel for the ex? How does Cancer feel for the ex? What were the strengths in the relationship between Cancer and the ex when they were in this relationship? What was the strengths between Cancerians and the ex when they were in the relationship? And what were the weaknesses in this relationship when Cancer and this ex were together? What were the weaknesses? And what is the possibility of Cancer and this ex coming back together? Show me. What's the overall analysis of who this ex is as a person? Show me. What are the main blockages to Cancerians and this ex being together? And if Cancerians and this ex were to come back together, what would be the outcome of this relationship? And if the ex should come back to Cancerians asking to reconcile, what should Cancerians do? Okay, got all our areas yet. I think you can see everything nicely on the screen here. Let me just push down the cards just a little bit though, just a tad, so that we've got everything sitting nicely and snugly in. Okay, so let's have a look at who the ex is in their life at the moment, Cancerians. Well, they're the Hierophant reversed. They're breaking all the rules. Hierophant reversed. Reversals are good. I love using reversals because they don't walk straight. Never think that because you got a reversals it's a bad card. It's not a bad card at all. The Hierophant when it's reversed means that you're going against type. So you're doing something different. This can mean that maybe you're dating somebody out of your religious out of your religious denomination. So you might be a Christian and a staunch Christian. You might have come from, a Christian family. You might have all been Roman Catholics, for example. And you might decide, well, I'm not going to date a Roman Catholic. I think I'll go and date a Muslim or a Hindu or a Sikh. That can be your Hierophant in the reverse. Your Hierophant in the reverse might be, well, usually I date tall, handsome, chocolate-skinned, dark-eyed men. Now I think I'll date a 5'4", blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman, and I'm a woman. That's your Hierophant in the reverse. Okay, that's your Hierophant breaks away from what the norm is, what the tradition of something is. That's what the Hierophant is. Not always a bad thing. Hierophants in the reverse, though, because in love readings they can represent commitment when they're in the upright. It says, well, I'm not ready to commit right now. So it might be that the ex is doing something completely different in their life right now. They're going against what they usually do, but it also, or what they usually go for, but it also might be with the Hierophant in the reverse. This person right now is not ready for commitment with the Hierophant in the reverse. What is this person's strengths as a person, Cancerian? The Seven of Coins. So they wait. Their strengths are the Seven of Coins. They've got great perseverance skills. They tend to wait and wait and wait for the results of something to flourish because you've got the Seven of Coins. Seven of Coins is a card that says, you know what we do is we build. We invest. We work hard. We put a lot of time and energy into a certain area. It depends on how you see the Seven of Coins. Because the Seven of Coins can be a card that says, you know what, the coins on the branch might be what's flourished. So these might have even been smaller. And when you get a Seven of Coins, it can be, whew, well, I'm standing back and I'm looking at all my handiwork and look how much money I've made. So this person has a strength. They might be really good at making money, for example, with the Seven of Coins. But the Seven of Coins can also say, well, these are actually the seeds because they're aces. They're all 7 Ace of Pentacles sitting on that bush. So the strengths for this person, I think, in the main, is that this person is very good at waiting. I think they've got great patience. I think that this person, their strengths are in patience. They will wait and wait and wait to see if anything good comes off a situation. They will wait and wait and wait to get a return on their investment. They don't give up easily. And I think that your ex is that type of person. They're the person, Cancerians, that never gives up that easily with the Seven of Coins. What is this person's weakness, though? The Chariot. Possibly all for themselves. That's the thing with the Chariot. Chariot is not a romantic card. The Chariot is somebody who is very self-serving. Chariots can be, because chariots represent people who are very self-controlled. So when you get a charioteer, what this is saying, because it's and actually it's funny, Cancerians, because it's either that the weakness is you as the Chariot, because the Cancerian card of the Chariot, this is the Cancerian card. Chariot as a major represents a Cancerian person. So the weakness could be you, Cancerians. Okay, their weakness, this ex's weakness might just be you and your ability to control this situation. But the other way to look at the Chariot is that this person is very self-controlled emotionally. So this person never really opens up emotionally. It might be this weakness for this person is that they're emotionally quite redundant. Because if you look at the Chariot, the zodiac sign of Cancer, the Chariot represents the crab. So the zodiac sign of Cancer is represented by the crab. The crab has a hard outer shell and a very soft underbelly. And the hard outer shell is to protect the underbelly. And usually when you get charioteers, they're people who control their emotions because often they don't want to get hurt. So I think that this person, the weakness, for some of you guys, it might be the weakness is that this person is always pursuing something, but they pursue it not through love, but through getting some sense of victory and achievement, in which love is not the first thing. Can also be that this person is very controlling in terms of their emotions, so they find it very difficult to open up with the energy showing as the Chariot. Might be the weakness for this person is something to do with their family. Maybe they've got a lot of baggage, maybe they've got a lot of responsibility, because Cancerians represent their house of home and family, so this can be where somebody's got a lot of responsibility to do with home, family, that type of thing, keeping things together. Might be the weakness for the ex is that they're always kind of conflicted and pushed and pulled in two directions, because this is the card of somebody who needs to try and control two directions in order to move forward. How does the ex feel for you, Cancerians? Knight of Cups in the reverse. So they don't really, their heart isn't into you at the moment, and that's, funnily enough, that's a Pisces card, so you might be dealing with a Pisces individual, Cancerians. But the Knight of Cups in the reverse says, my heart isn't open. I'm not really into making a proposal to Cancer at the moment. I'm not emotionally driven by this person. When you get the Knight of Cups in the reverse, it means I don't want to forgive. I don't want to love you. I lack interest. I lack emotional and romantic interest in you. I think that there is a lack of interest on an emotional basis concerning you with this Knight of Cups in the reverse. This person might not want to forgive you for something, Cancer, but then this person might just, with the Knight of Cups in the reverse, this shows somebody who's not particular, they're emotionally reticent, let's put it that way. There's a redundancy that comes in with this card when you get the Knight of Cups in the reverse. In the upright, this person's filled with love and they're offering their cup to you. Sometimes this person is saying, fill my cup for me. But in the reverse, this person says, I don't really want anything from you. So I feel there is a lack of emotional interest with the Knight of Cups in the reverse concerning you in terms of their feelings. So there's a lack of interest, I would say, here with this Knight of Cups in the reverse. They don't really want anything for you, and they don't want to give anything to you, and they don't really want anything back at the moment, I would say, for this ex. Cancerians, how do you feel about this person? The Five of Swords in the reverse. So the Five of Swords in the reverse, I feel that you feel a sense of empowerment over this individual now. Because if it had been a Five of Swords in the upright, your feelings towards this person would have been for hurt. Because this card represents when you're feeling hurt. In the reverse it says, well, I'm coming out of that conflict, I'm coming out of that time of hurt and pain. And I think that you have resolved an issue with this individual internally, though, I would say, with the Five of Swords in the reverse. Some of you guys might feel that you want to come out of conflict with this person with the Five of Swords in the reverse, but I feel that if you feel that this person's hurt you, Cancerians, I feel that the hurt is starting to diminish with the Five of Swords in the reverse, and some of you guys might be starting to gain your power back. What were the strengths in this relationship when it was happening? Oh, the Eight of Swords was the strength. Well, might have been some kinky sex going on there. Eight of Swords can be kinky sex, it can be bondage. But other than that, because I don't really do sex readings and stuff, but it could be. But see, the Eight of Swords is the ability to keep secrets, but also it's the ability to stay within a comfort zone and to never really challenge it. So when you get an Eight of Swords, this card says, well, you know what? Let's just stay where we are. Let's not rock the boat. Let's not challenge things. Because the Eight of Swords in a love reading is all about being trapped. And it's all about having limitations. And this is your strength. So it's a negative card that shows up as what your strength was in this relationship. And I think that in one way, one of the strengths in the relationship is that there were things that happened in the relationship that weren't really challenged. So when you get the Eight of Swords, if you get Eight of Swords in the Tower, somebody might be getting something off their chest. Because the Eight of Swords represents a build-up as well. It's a build-up of ideas. It's a build-up of emotions that somebody is refusing to let go. It shows fear. So the strength might have been the fear to come out of a comfort zone in the relationship. Maybe you stayed within the relationship for some of you guys because it was comfortable. However, the problem with the Eight of Swords is we tend to ignore things, or we won't confront things when you get the Eight of Swords. Some readers read that card as being the truth. But I don't say, I mean, it might have been the truth, being the strength might have been the truth of knowing what the circumstance was, which would have been a pretty negative one. I've always read the Eight of Swords reverse as being the truth, because that is letting go of the whatever it is that anybody is holding on to mentally or emotionally. This is the card about opening up. For me, this is the card that you don't open up, you stay stuck. So your strength was, I feel, not to confront problems, not to confront challenges in the relationship, trying to keep the status quo in this relationship, trying to keep it together despite any difficulties with that Eight of Swords showing there as your strength. Because your weakness in this relationship was the Nine of Wands, okay? So I'm seeing the Nine of Wands in the weakness area as being either one of you was a liar, because the Nine of Wands shows somebody who's very suspicious. So if you look at the Nine of Wands, somebody's on the lookout. They're on the lookout to see if anybody can see. Is anybody going to see me going into that house and nicking off with a load of gold? Is anybody going to see me standing on this corner waiting for my waiting for the person that I'm having the affair with? Is anybody watching? Is anybody going to see? This person's always on guard. So I feel that the weakness in this relationship, there was a lot of tension, I feel, for some of you guys with that Nine of Wands. I think the Nine of Wands for me can definitely be a card that represents cheating as well and affairs. Somebody's trying to cover their tracks. With the Nine of Wands, it's the card of looking suspiciously. I think there's a lot of tension. I think there was a lot of suspicion in this relationship, and I also feel that there was a lot of waiting, because the Nine of Wands, when it's in the upright in a relationship reading, can show somebody who's waiting for a call or waiting for someone to come back to them. What is the potential for you and this ex to come back together again, Cancerians? Right, so that's High Priestess reversed. Difficult card to say. I would say that there is every chance for you to come back together. The High Priestess in the upright says that you'll be waiting. This is not for you to know. So sometimes when you get this card, it says, well, look, the outcome has not been decided. Because with the High Priestess, it's not for you to know. It is not for you to know. You'll have to wait and see, is the High Priestess, which means that the energies can just roll out and roll out and roll out. And you never know. You never see. You never see a reconciliation. You never see a resurrection of anything with the High Priestess, because it's a waiting card. So it says, this is not for you to know right now. This is why this can be classed as a maybe card. In the reverse, I would say, because it shows the secrets coming out and things being uprooted and things being shown, I would say that there is every chance with that High Priestess in the reverse. Things opening up again with the High Priestess. There's a more of an immediacy for me, you see, with this card when it's reversed. So I'd say, yeah, High Priestess in the reverse would say to me, yes, there is a chance for you guys to come back and reconcile. Who is this ex overall? What is the overall analysis of who this ex is? They're the Two of Wands. So this person, there's a few things really with the Two of Wands as this person. Number one, I think this person is forever at a crossroads. I think that this person might be quite indecisive with this Two of Wands energy showing up. I think that this person has goals. And I think that this person has motivation to come out of an area in their life that they might feel stuck in. Because the Two of Wands, you see this globe that this person's got in front of the face, Cancerians. This globe says that this is their world. This is what they hold right now. They hold the world in their hands, and they've got the Two Wands, and they say, can I go across my borders? Can I venture out from where I am at the moment? So this person has ambitions. They've got ideas. They're motivated to come outside of their borders. For some of you guys, this person might want to do a lot of travelling with the Two of Wands showing here. This person, I do feel though, possibly always at a crossroads, needing to make some very firm and important decisions with the Two of Wands energy showing here. But they're definitely showing, for me, as somebody who's very motivated as well with this Two of Wands energy. What are the blockages to you and this person coming together? Three of Swords in the reverse. Interesting that should show as a blockage, because it's a positive card. The Truth is the Three of Swords in the reverse. The Three of Swords in the upright talks about lies, tension, heartbreak. But the Three of Swords in the reverse talks about resolving those conflicts and overcoming pain. So the blockages are overcoming the pain in the situation with the Three of Swords in the reverse. Okay, it's not about the pain, it's now overcoming it. So the blockage to you guys really reconciling is whether you can really overcome whatever damage with that Three of Swords in the reverse has already been done within the relationship. The outcome for if you guys were to get back together would be the Eight of Cups. It wouldn't last, because one of you would walk away. One of you would walk away. That's the Eight of Cups energy. You can see on this card that you have 8 cups and they are stacked unevenly. And what this guy is doing is he's saying, look, I'm walking away from this very imbalanced, unhappy, negative situation. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk higher. I'm going to walk to higher ground, because my intuition tells me that what I need to be doing is finding something better, a better circumstance. So this relationship for me wouldn't last. The overall outcome for if you guys were to get back together, what would the outcome be? It would be this. It wouldn't last. One of you, Cancer, it might be you, because cups are a water sign, water card. So it might be you that ends up walking away from the relationship. Could easily be them though. One of you would end up walking away. There would be separation in this relationship. Put it that way with the Eight of Cups, showing there as the overall outcome if you were to come back together with the ex. And if the ex came back asking for a reconciliation, what should you do? Five of Cups. It's telling you to remember, I feel, with this Five of Cups energy. And this is a no card as well. So when you get yes or no questions and you pull something like the Five of Cups, that's a no. Because the Five of Cups is a card that shows somebody who feels sadness and somebody who feels disappointed. The Two Cups, often readers with the Two Cups behind the guy will say, well, this person's not acknowledging that there's another relationship behind them and this is just purely focused on the ending. But for me, I've never read the Five of Cups that way. I always look at the Five of Cups as, well, the Two of Cups, the relationship is behind them, and now they're mourning the ending of it with the Three of Cups on the floor. They're mourning the disconnection. They're mourning the separation, because Three of Cups in the reverse or downcast is about separation. It's about joylessness. And this is behind him is the relationship. So the relationship, because the relationship is behind this man, now he's mourning the separation. Okay, so if they were to come back to you, Five of Cups, what would you do? Well, you're focused on the Three Cups, the separation. And I feel that looking at this card is telling you to focus on what it is that tore you guys apart in the first place. What it is that separated the relationship. This isn't telling you to do it. It's not showing you a Knight of Cups or a Knight of Swords, you know, or an Ace of Wands. It's telling you this. Or a Death in the reverse. It's telling you this. It's telling you pay attention to whatever it was that brought in the unhappiness in the first place. With the Five of Cups energy. So this isn't telling you to take this person back with open arms, because you need to focus on what brought the unhappiness and the separation in the first place. Let's get clarifiers on these areas. Why is this X showing as being the Hierophant reversed in two cards? Why is the X showing as being the Hierophant in the reverse in two cards for Cancerians? Right, you've got a Queen of Swords here. Could be a person around them. Queen of Swords would usually be a very vivacious, chatty, open, communicative lady, for example, showing up here. And the Page of Swords energy showing up here. Well, I feel that, you know, you've got two sword energies here, and both cards can represent communication. So this person might have made a decision to start communicating, because the Page of Swords, when it comes to a love reading, it tells you to get out there and start communicating with people. So I think that this person's made a decision with the Queen of Swords energy. It could be that there's a Queen of Swords individual here that this person's having some communication with, for example. The World energy shows in the reverse. I just felt like I needed to... and the World energy in the reverse is about keeping your options open. So this is unfinished business. So I feel that Cancerians, it might be that this person's doing something very different at the moment in their lives with that. They're going against the grain. They're doing things much differently than they ever did them before with the Hierophant in the reverse. I think it's either that there's a person around them, a Queen of Swords, could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius individual, that might be doing some communicating with this person in terms of the World in the reverse. So communicating maybe with the World in the reverse, keeping their options open, for example, because the World is in the reverse. So it says, you know, things are not slam dunk. Things are not, it's not the real deal. It's not sealed, signed, sealed, delivered. Things are still open. There's still unfinished business here, but we just need to see how it goes. So it might be there's somebody here that they're doing some communication with and just keeping their options open, I feel, with the World in the reverse. It might be that this person has made a very important decision, if this isn't a person, because the Queen of Swords can mean when you make a really important decision. I think this person might have also made a very important decision that really they're just going to do some communicating, just see how things go, maybe in other relationships, and keep their options open with the World energy. I get the impression here that this person's not really keeping, you know, taking relationships that seriously at the moment in these areas here. I think that they're just going with the flow and seeing how things go. It might be that they're doing something different here, because before it might be a case that this person decided to jump feet first into relationships. But I feel that this person is the Hierophant, because they're the Hierophant in the reverse, they're not, also it shows that they're not looking for commitment. So it might also be that the ex at the moment isn't looking for a commitment, because they've made a decision with that Queen of Swords just to, you know, communicate, with the get out there, do a bit of communication with the Page of Swords energy showing here there, and just keep their options open. They're not looking for, you know, the world in the upright in terms of relationship is about the one. It's looking for the best person that you can possibly get. It's looking for the soulmate. But in the reverse, it would say, well, I'll just keep my options open. You know, I'll just see what's out there. I just think that this person at the moment, they're not that serious about relationships at the moment. They're really just keeping their options open. It might be with somebody who's very chatty and vivacious as well that they're really talking to at the moment. Why is this X's? Why is the X's strength to 7 of coins? Why is this X's strength to 7 of coins in 2 to 3 cards? Queen of that's a King of Rods, and that can be a Cancerian energy, so that could be you, or it could simply be who this person is. And this, funny enough, showed up for the Pisces reading as well. So the King of Rods, and this person's doing a lot of evaluation, trying to use their intuition with that King of Rods energy. I think that this person wants to block out, or has decided to. It might be a King of Rods rejected. I think that this X was rejected by someone. I'm seeing a King of Rods rejected. There was a rejection and causing upset with the 9 of Swords. So I feel that this person's strengths are to wait. 7 of Coins. Their strengths are also in evaluation in terms of relationships. So I feel that the strengths are with this person. It's not about waiting for one particular relationship. I think that the X, Cancerians, is the type of person that right now the strengths are that they don't jump into relationships with the 7 of Coins energy. They like to wait. They like to sort of test the ground, see how things are going to go with that 7 of Coins. Because if you get that in a reading, if somebody says to me, I'm going out on a date, how would it go? And I pulled one card and I got the 7 of Coins. I'd probably say, well, it might not go in your favour completely because this person's going to be evaluating as to whether they want to see you again. So their strengths are really, and this, you know, you get coin cards and coins represent cautiousness, being careful and being cautious. So this person, their strengths are in being cautious. And I think it's because they were rejected by an individual. Your ex was rejected by an individual. It might be that they're contemplating a rejection causing worry as well, because the King of Wands can easily be them. And you can see on this particular deck of cards, the Handsome Robert decks, a King of Wands. And you can see that he's got a wand in front of his head and he's contemplating. So this person's contemplating being rejected. So this person's contemplating, well, if they're going to be rejected, it will cause a lot of upset. And that's why their strengths are to wait. So I think that this X shows us somebody who doesn't want to jump feet first into relationships at the moment. They're worried about getting rejected. So they need to take the time out and just to kind of peruse and work out whoever it is that they're dating, whoever it is that they're with. Is it going to be the right person? Are they going to cause them any hurt or any pain? And that's why they show us the Hierophant in the reverse, because they don't want to commit to anyone at the moment with the Hierophant in the reverse here. Okay, and I think it's because the Queen of Swords energy, they're using their logic, they're using their wisdom. It could be a person, but I think it's more than likely that with this Queen of Swords energy, it's saying that they have made a very firm decision here that they're just going to communicate, get out there and do a bit of mingling and communicating with the Page of Swords energy and keeping their options with the World energy in the reverse, keeping their options open. All right, so this person looks like they don't want to commit, and they look like their strengths are they can wait. They're going to wait, they're going to evaluate and see what's out there, because I think that they're intuiting here and they're thinking with this King of Wands energy that if they're rejected with the 7 of Wands, if they reject someone, if somebody rejects them, it will cause worry, or if they reject someone, it's going to cause a lot of worry. So this person looks like they're using their head to a great degree in their life right now, Cancerians. Why is this person's weakness the Chariot? Why is this X's weakness for Cancer the Chariot? Why is the X's weakness the Chariot? 3 of Coins. This is all, when you get 3 of Coins, it's all about hard work and effort. And the 2 of Wands. Well, I think that they're very focused on themselves with this Chariot more than anything. I think their weaknesses with the Chariot, they're very goal-orientated. And I only say that because this is all about working in teams and working on a project, taking this out into the world, taking this out into a new direction. So it's almost like the projects that this person is working on with the 3 of Coins, they're looking to take out, promote it. Because the 2 of Wands can also be a card where you're promoting something. You've got the world in your hands and you can walk in any direction you like, but this is about being motivated, being ambitious enough to taking all of this hard work and effort that you've put into a particular project or area in your life and taking it out into the world and presenting it. So I feel that the weakness for this person is that they are very self-focused as a person. I don't think they're necessarily focused on love. I think that they're more focused on working and practical matters and getting a name for themselves, that type of thing in these areas here. Why does this X feel the Knight of Cups in the reverse for Cancer? Why does this person feel the Knight of Cups in the reverse for Cancerians? Show me. Right, so the King of Swords. Now, when you get a King of Swords, if you look, and this is in the feelings section. So when you get a King of Swords, as a person, this person's honest, they're fair, they're kind, they're generous, and they do have some very high standards. So feelings-wise, this person would be emotionally detached. He's not the best card to show up for love in a love reading because he's more concentrated on his career than he is on love. He's more concentrated on, you know, how does a partner make him look rather than his feelings. Do you see what I mean? So he might meet someone that might be lovely, he might get on with them, but if they don't look the part, he's not going to be interested. So I think that this person is very emotionally detached with that King of Swords energy. From the Emperor. See, the Emperor, when it comes to love readings, this is all about settling down and stabilising a relationship. So this person is emotionally detached from stabilising the relationship with you, from building a secure, stable and secure, stable environment with the Emperor energy. Because the Emperor, when this comes to a love reading, this can work two ways. An Emperor can be overly authoritative, causing problems in a relationship. But an Emperor can also be somebody who wants to stabilise a relationship. And we can see in the feelings, this person, the Knight of Cups, their heart isn't in it with you. They've got nothing to offer you and they don't want anything from you because they're very emotionally detached from building a stable and secure relationship with you, with the Emperor energy showing here. Also, it might be with the King of Swords energy. This person might be very, very focused mentally. Might have made a very important decision that what they want is to build themselves up as an Emperor. Maybe they want to work on their career. Maybe they're looking to, you know, for promotion, that type of thing. I get the impression that this love is not the first thing on this ex's mind at the moment. That's the impression I'm getting from this reading. Why does Cancerians feel the Five of Swords in the reverse for the ex? Why do they feel the Five of Swords in the reverse for the ex? Show me. Right, so Queen of Pentacles shows here. And the Queen of Pentacles is a card that says, I want to settle down. There are two cards I always mention in the tarot that represent people who want marriage, they want to settle down, they want to have children. You know, they want a 360-degree relationship, and that's a King and a Queen of Pentacles energy. They've got values. So this is all about your values in terms of relationships with the Queen of Pentacles energy showing here. Okay, so we've got the Four of Cups. All right, so I feel with this because the Queen of Pentacles wouldn't necessarily be your astrological sign. All right, and we've got a Four of Cups here. Now, the Four of Cups shows a lack of interest. So I feel that settling down, having a stable, loving, mature, traditional relationship, this person wasn't interested with the Four of Cups energy. And I feel that your feelings are you want to end the conflict. What you want to do is you want to, I think that your feelings for this person, because it's how you feel about this person, is the Five of Swords in the reverse, and that would be conflict resolution. It would be to come out of a time of hurt. It would be to resolve the hurt. So your feelings, Cancerians, might be, well, I want to resolve the hurt that has been inflicted, because this person wasn't interested, Four of Cups showing here, in settling down with me with the Queen of Pentacles energy. I'm not reading this as a person. When you get lots of court cards in readings, I never read lots of court cards. Can be lots of people are involved in this situation. But also, you know, it might be that this person was either a King of Wands or a Queen of Pentacles. They could have been an earth sign. They could have been a fire sign. Or even a water sign, because that can be a Cancerian as well. But I feel that, you know, if this is an earth sign, it's because this person here wasn't interested in a relationship with you. And what you want to do is you want to resolve the hurt with this individual because they rejected you. For some of you Cancerians, because the Queen of Pentacles isn't interested. Or it could be that your feelings are to resolve a conflict with this individual. Maybe there was a third party. Maybe the person that your ex was involved in was no longer. Maybe there's been an ending to this relationship. So I can read it three ways. It's either that you want to resolve the hurt with this individual. Your feelings are, I'd really like to come out of this time of separation with this individual with the Five of Swords in the reverse, because maybe they had a relationship with someone else and it ended. Queen of Pentacles, it ended with this individual. Or it could be that because the ex as the Queen of Pentacles wasn't particularly interested in a relationship with you. Or it could be just the energy is, you know, this person, the ex wasn't interested in settling down. So I definitely feel that you've got more of an interest in this person, Cancerians, than this person has in you. What are the strengths in this relationship between Cancerians and this ex? The Eight of Swords. What was the strengths in this relationship between Cancerians and this ex, the Eight of Swords, in 2 cards? Oh my God. So that showed up for Pisces as well. Really weird. 10 of Swords. So this is hurt, disappointment, betrayal, breakup. And the 5 of Coins energy. So this is the card that there is hurt. There was hurt. There was depression. There was disappointment and loss. Because 5 of Coins means loss or abandonment, usually in a love reading. So hurt and loss caused abandonment, maybe with the 5 of Coins energy showing up here. But also this is about leaving this behind. Even though this card, if you look at a 10 of Swords and you can see the stationary element of that card. So as you can see on the 10 of Swords, somebody is dead. But the 5 of Coins are walking away from that. So this is also for me a card about conflict resolution. Alright. So this is for me about, not just about, you know, abandonment. But also, I could read it 2 ways. I could say, I think the strengths were not to resolve. It was to stay with the status quo. Because I'm seeing a lot of hurt and abandonment happening in this relationship. But nobody was facing up to this. I think that it might have been you that wasn't facing up to this, Cancerians, on this. I think there was a lot of hurt in this relationship. And for some of you guys, it was trying to resolve that energy, I think, with these 2 cards. But also I feel that because there was disappointment, hurt and betrayal, loss with the 5 of Coins, abandonment with the 5 of Coins here, the strength was the 8 of Swords, ignoring it. I think that you guys were ignoring the tenuous, the tempestuous energy in this relationship, the negative energy within the relationship. I think the strength with the 8 of Swords are telling me that you guys, the strength was to ignore it. Just to ignore all of the negative energy that was happening in the relationship. It was being ignored. And that was the strength. Because you guys were trying to keep the status quo. You were trying to keep the relationship together. And you thought that, well, if I could ignore that this person's hurt me, betrayed me, abandoned me, shut me out, if I just ignore all of that stuff, then things will probably get better. However, the weakness in this relationship with the 9 of Wands. And let's have a look at why the weakness in this relationship, Cancerians, was the 9 of Wands. Why was the weakness the 9 of Wands in this relationship? Oh God, it shows up again. Can you see? It came up again. See that? Came up over it as a clarifier. 9 of Wands, because the 9 of Wands, 6 of Swords. Okay. Well, I think the weakness was, when you get the 9 of Wands, as I say, it's about tension in a relationship. I think the weakness was a great deal of tension. Okay. I think the weakness, and I think there was tension, and I'm not saying it wouldn't make any sense because trying to move on from that, because the 6 of Swords moves out of the 9 of Wands, it doesn't make any sense. I think that there was tension in this relationship. This was the weakness, because I think that this person was definitely doing something suspicious. I think that they were very guarded about their activities out of the relationship with the 6 of Swords, because 6 of Swords can show somebody who's got a foot out of the door in a relationship, somebody who's not being honest. This is somebody, it's like the 8 of Cups can show somebody who's cheating on you. They're moving around in the dead of night hoping to not get detected. So the 6 of Swords can be the same sort of thing, and I think that this person was very on their guard. It might be that you were very suspicious of this person's activities out of the relationship. It might be that this person was very protective and very much on their guard, trying to guard their activities when they were not with you, with that 6 of Swords energy. And that's why the weakness was the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands, the weakness was, I feel, suspicion in this relationship. I think the weakness was suspicion, and that's why the strengths were to ignore it. You were ignoring what was going on in this relationship, okay? Because you've got betrayal energy here, and this again is a cheating card, the 5 of Pentacles. So this is doing something outside of the, you know, the vows of a relationship. It's outside of the church. It's outside of what's accepted in society. So it could be betrayal because this person was going outside of the relationship with the Five of Coins. For some of you guys, you'd have been ignoring that with the Eight of Swords being your strength in relationship. You'd have been ignoring this person's activities in these areas here. For some of you guys, it's betrayal and hurt and abandonment. Again, strengths were just to ignore it. So when the person shuts the door and says, I'm going off for the evening now, you don't know where they are. Because the weakness is suspicion. This person holds their own counsel. This person puts their guard up. But also the weakness is suspicion in this relationship. Because this person was very careful with the Nine of Rods about their activities outside of the relationship with the Six of Wands. Six of Swords, sorry. They were very guarded. Very on their guard. Looking in both directions. Here, there. Am I being seen for what I'm doing outside of the relationship? And also you were very suspicious about what this person's doing outside of the relationship. Why is the potential for Cancerians and this person to come back together? The High Priestess in the reverse. Why is the potential for Cancerians and this person to come back together? The High Priestess in the reverse. Show me in 2 cards. Right, this shows sadness, loss, disappointment, 5 of Cups, and the 8 of Wands. Sadness being released. 8 of Wands can also be a card about something being released. So you see all this hurt and pain with the 5 of Coins. I think that there is potential for this relationship to happen again, because the disappointment, the sadness, the regret, the upset of the 5 of Coins, this is being released with the 8 of Wands. If you guys can release this, there is the potential to come back together. If the disappointment and the hurt, so in other words, if forgiveness can be given here, I feel with this High Priestess that there is the potential for a reconciliation. Why is the X being explained as the 2 of Wands? Why is the overall analysis of this X showing us the 2 of Wands for Cancerians? Show me. Right. Many options, many choices with that 7 of Cups energy. And the Page of Cups. I think there are many options that are given to this X. Because the Page of Cups is a card that represents news. It can also represent to receive something here. This is good news coming, good news that's being received. And this is many options, many choices to make. Okay, so it might be that there are many options for this person to consider, maybe with that Page of Cups, because you can see that this person is looking at something that is given. The cup is full, it's got a fish in it. So this is a gift that is given. I think this person here, they're showing us a 2 of Wands because they have the world at their feet. This person possibly showing us a 2 of Wands because they're at a little bit of a crossroads. Overall, they're always at a crossroads because there's just too many options, I feel, here with this 7 of Cups energy for this person to consider with the Page of Cups energy showing there. So this person's always kind of a little bit in between a rock and a hard place. I'm getting that this person isn't 100% settled because there's always something for them to consider in their life here. I'm not saying it's necessarily romantically wise, for example, but I certainly feel that there are many, many things that this person has to consider in their lives. And I think that this person has a lot of good luck on their side. I'm seeing that this person, they're in a really good place, and they've probably been in a very good place for a long time. It just looks to me like this person's got really good options. They've got really good choices. They look like they have very much been blessed. Very blessed, this X looks to be. Why is the obstacles to Cancerian and this person coming back together, the 3 of Swords in the reverse? Why is the obstacles to Cancer and this X coming back together, the 3 of Swords in reverse in 2 cards? Well, you've got the Chariot here. So this is also the card about somebody who's moving on. Has brought happiness. I think that moving on has brought happiness. Possibly for the X, could be for you. Either way. So the obstacle is resolving. Resolution, 3 of Swords in the reverse. Resolving the problems that you guys have experienced in the past. And I think it's probably because either you or the X, or maybe both of you, moving on has brought a great deal of happiness and contentment with that 9 of Cups. So I feel that either one of you has potentially moved on from this relationship. I think it's more the X, because I can see here that you guys would probably like to resolve whatever this situation is. And if the X came back into, if the X and Cancer reconciled, why would the 8 of Cups be the outcome? If Cancerians and the X were to reconcile, why would the 8 of Cups be the outcome? Seven of Pentacles. Now, you can see on this handsome Robert Day, Seven of Coins shows somebody who looks very, very tired. In fact, he looks absolutely knackered. All right, he's put a lot of hard work in. Seven of Coins on this one is different from Seven of Coins on that one. This shows somebody who's prepared to wait. This one shows somebody who's really tired. I mean, they're absolutely exhausted after all the work that they've put in. What shows with that? Ten of Wands shows up here. So all the work and energy that's been put into building this relationship would just bring a great burden. And somebody would end up walking away. And I think that this is the ex. I think the ex doesn't want the responsibility of a relationship from what I can see in this reading. I just don't think that they want the responsibility of it. I really don't think that this person wants the responsibility. Because all of this hard work and effort, and also waiting to see what happens with that Seven of Coins energy. Waiting to see if something comes off, if there's a positive result from all the work that's been put in. Bringing a huge burden. This person, I feel, is either going to get very, very bored at having to wait and see. I don't know what this person's waiting for. But it seems to me that they tend to have itchy feet to a certain extent. And this ex, to me, Cancerian, seems to... as a person, I get the impression that this person seems to put themselves in a higher position to everybody else. They seem to think that they're really it. I get the impression that this person really thinks that they can do what they like. They feel a certain... what's the word I'm looking for? I think the word I'm looking for is that this person feels superior to others. I get the impression that this person really... I'm getting a sense of a narcissist, but also somebody who feels real superior to other people. And I think you were the ones that were ignoring shit in this relationship. You know, betrayal when this person... So you're ignoring. In your strength, you had the strength to ignore. You didn't want to do anything different, Cancerians. You didn't want to challenge the ex. I think some of you guys didn't want to challenge who this person was. So your strengths were to keep the status quo. Why was that? Because perhaps Ten of Swords, ending this relationship would mean that you were left out in the cold. You'd have to, you know, start again, leave the ex with the Five of Coins. So that's why I think that you stayed the same. You didn't want changes. So you just decided to blindfold yourself, remain blind, turn a blind eye, I would say, with the Eight of Swords. The strength in a relationship was that you guys turning a blind eye in this relationship. Because if you ended it with the Ten of Swords, it would mean that you'd be left out in the cold, you'd be left on your own. Because the weakness was the Nine of Wands. There was a lot of tension in this relationship. Very suspicious you were of when this person went out the door. Very suspicious as to where their whereabouts were. But also because this person was very guarded in terms of where they were going. So this person never really told you where they were, what they were doing, what was going on with them. A lot of tension. You turned a blind eye to it, though, I think, here, Cancerians. Because you recognise that if you challenge the person, it would end. Ten of Swords, leaving you out in the cold. Leaving the relationship very, very rocky. And you didn't want that. This ex knew that it could get away with shit, basically. And why in the overall outcome, if this ex came back wanting to reconcile with Cancerians, why should they do the Five of Cups? Why should they do the Five of Cups in two cards? Knight of Pentacles can mean somebody who takes a long time. So sometimes this never happens with a Knight of Coins energy. It just takes a long time to move forward in terms of relationships. Slow movement from the Knight of Coins, or long-term commitment, or long-term goals. Well, yeah, you got the Four of Swords. So Four of Swords in a love reading means to be withdrawn. You need to withdraw. So from this long-term goal, from the Knight of Coins, some of you guys, it might be that this person's showing us the Knight of Coins. From this person who moves very, very slowly, maybe you need to just take a rain check with the Four of Swords energy. All right, or this long-term goal that you've got for this relationship, you need to withdraw from it. Why does Cancerians need to withdraw from it, though? Why do Cancerians need to withdraw from it? Because the Three of Cups. Maybe there are other people around this individual showing up here. Okay. I just pulled two more cards. See, the Wheel of Fortune is all about fate. So I think it's saying that if you were to reconcile, Three of Cups is a reconciliation card. Because if you were to reconcile, you would be fated to the Hanged Man reverse. No change. Not one iota of a change, because this represents no change, Hangman reverse. If you were to reconcile, you'd be fated to no change with the Hanged Man reverse. You just get the same old, same old. So this long-term goal that you've got, you need to take a rain check on that. Because if you were to reconcile with the Three of Cups, I think you would be fated to the same deal with the Hanged Man. There'd be no changes. No changes at all. Things would just remain the same. Let's quickly get this reading again, Cancerians, for how does the ex feel about you? Who is the ex in their life right now? I don't think that this ex is ready for a commitment. Hierophant in the reverse. And I think that they've made a decision with that Queen of Swords energy just to start tittle-tattle, a little bit of communication, getting out there, just communicating with different people here and keeping their options open with the World card in the reverse. Because their strengths are, they never jump in. I don't think that this person wants to jump in head first on anything. Their strengths are with the Seven of Coins that they like to wait and they like to evaluate situations with people. And I think it's because with the King of Wands, what they're intuiting, if they are the King of Wands, they're intuiting that if they reject someone, it could cause a whole load of guilt on themselves, worry. It might be that it's because somebody rejected them. Maybe this King of Wands rejected the ex and it caused worry. With the Nine of Swords, maybe this is you. King of Wands can be a Cancerian individual. Either way, their intuition is telling them that if they reject someone, it's going to cause guilt on their part and worry, or, you know, they're going to cause somebody else a lot of guilt or heartbreak, or it's simply a fact that maybe they've been hurt or dumped in the past and it's caused a lot of heartbreak. So their strengths are to wait. They don't want to rush in and they're not ready for a commitment here, and they really just want to play the field and keep their options open, I feel, in these two areas here. Their weaknesses, they're all about themselves, the Chariot. So the Chariot is all about, they're very controlled emotionally in terms of relationships. And the Chariot is not a romantic card. It's about the self. And it's about pursuing goals that involve victory and success. It's not necessarily a love card. So the challenge, the weakness for this person is themselves, the Chariot. They're very held back emotionally, I feel, with the Chariot energy. And that's because I think that there are different things that they're working on in their life. It might be their work, Three of Coins. It might be that they're working to improve something in terms of their work life with the Three of Coins here, in which they can go out there into the world and promote it. So it might be that they're working on a business that they're looking to promote. So they're all about the self. This person's not really that bothered about relationships. And they're certainly, I think, not in the mindset right now to have anything long term. Because I think they're very focused on themselves and their own success. How they feel about you is the Knight of Cups in the reverse. Okay, so I feel that they are not particularly emotionally receptive to you at the moment. Their heart isn't into you. They're not into you emotionally at the moment with the Knight of Cups in the reverse. They're not looking to get anything from you and they're not looking to give anything back. And I think it's because with the King of Swords, it could be that they are emotionally detached from the idea of, with the Emperor energy, of building a long-term relationship with Cancerians. It might also be that they're not into you. Could be that maybe there's two people around them giving them advice, King of Swords and an Emperor energy as well. Maybe there's somebody around them. It might also be that they're not into you because you were speaking. Maybe the King of Swords is talking about your energy, Cancerian. Maybe there was blunt and honest talk, communication about settling down with the Emperor energy showing here. How you feel about with them is the Five of Swords reverse. You want to come out of conflict with this individual. You want conflict resolution and you want to come out of the hurt and the pain. Because it could be that maybe this person had somebody else. Maybe they had a Queen of Pentacles and it didn't work out with that Queen of Pentacles. Maybe this person wasn't interested in settling down and having children and having a household and that type of thing. And a long-term traditional relationship. But you would like to resolve that for some of you guys with this individual. The strengths in the relationship was your ability to turn a blind eye with the Eight of Swords energy. And that's because you felt, for some of you guys, that if you ended the relationship or if the relationship ended with the Ten of Swords energy showing here, it would then involve abandonment, you being cast out. For some of you guys, you might have lived with this person. Maybe you were afraid, shit, where am I going to go? Where am I going to leave if I rock the boat, if I challenge them? Because the weakness was suspicion, Nine of Wands. I think there was a great deal of tension and suspicion in this relationship. And I think it's because this person might have been very guarded about what their whereabouts were with the Six of Swords. Also, I feel it's because you were very suspicious of where they were when they were out and about. You didn't fully trust this person. The potential for a reconciliation, I would probably say with the High Priestess reversed, yes, because she's not a card. In the upright, it says things take a long time to occur. So you're not meant to know with the High Priestess in the upright. For now, it's not going to happen. But if somebody unveils and opens up with the High Priestess, but then the High Priestess in the reverse can also mean uncertainty. So it can mean that you never really are sure of what a lover's intentions are. So I could read it two ways. It's either that the potential for a reconciliation is you're never really going to know with that High Priestess in the reverse because you don't know what their intentions are. It might be because, I don't know what this is. Has your sadness escalated with the Eight of Wands? Are you so drowned up in hurt and pain for some of you guys that you never really know what's going on here? Or is it a case of maybe yes with the High Priestess in the reverse? Because things start to open up with the High Priestess in the reverse. And is this because hurt is starting to diminish with the Eight of Wands? It's starting to releasing the hurt. Maybe the ex will come back and say something here. Though I don't really feel that this person's hurting because they're showing us the feelings are here. So maybe this is you saying something to the ex, especially as you feel this here. Who is the ex? The ex is the Two of Wands. Very motivated, very ambitious to promote themselves, to get out there into life. I think a lot of choices that they need to consider with the Page of Cups. It might be that they've got a lot of choices here that have come through with the Page of Cups. Lots of invitations, lots of good messages. I think that lots of choices are being received by this Page of Cups energy and with this person. So I think that this person is in a very good position in their life overall. And I think they always have done. I think they've been very, very lucky. What are the obstacles to you guys coming together? Well, the obstacle is the Three of Swords in reverse, resolving pain, resolving the issues. And I think it's because with the Chariot energy showing here, even though I could read this as you, maybe you as the Cancerian's energy, holding back emotionally makes you feel happy maybe. Could be, but also for the both of you, it might be that moving on has brought a sense of happiness for the both of you as well. So, you know, the challenge would be opening up those wounds again and trying to resolve them, because for you guys, it might be that moving on, especially for the ex, has brought in a sense of happiness and contentment, especially here as we see that the ex isn't really that into you, I feel, Cancerians here, and they're just wanting to play the field and just keep their options open. If you were to come back together, what would be the outcome? Well, it would be the Ace of Cups. Probably the ex walking away, putting all this hard and work and effort, having to see how the relationship goes, sustaining it, being there, being mature about it with the Seven of Coins, bringing a great deal of pressure and burdens with the Ten of Wands. I think that this ex would struggle a great deal. The outcome, if the ex came back, what should you do, Cancerians? Well, it's a no, Five of Cups. You need to look at the past and you need to look at what it is that caused the hurt in the first place. And why is that? Because I think that your long-term goals with this Knight of Coins are probably never going to happen with the Four of Swords showing here. Because Four of Swords means withdrawal. It means it's not going to happen. And why is that? Because if you did reconcile, Three of Cups, you would find that you would be fated or things would turn to the Hangman. So at first you might have a lot of fun with this individual, reconciliation, partnership agreement, but there would be a change. Wheel of Fortune means change. So but there would be a change from this into this, the Hanged Man in the reverse, laziness, being stuck, things repeating themselves, never learning. So you wouldn't get your justice here. Things would just go back to the way that they always were, and that's why you probably need to stay away from this ex going forward. Alright, that's your reading, Cancerians. I would like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe, and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.